Well, what's up, 915? Woo! Hey, it is so good to have you guys here. And I get so excited that I get to listen to that worship set 3 times in a row. All right, like they're just so good. Nina was up here just crushing it. Mike, hey, thank you. This is Michael. Michael's giving me my iPad. Which is good. My iPad is always on my podium, and it was not there. And you all, listen, you want me to have an iPad, all right? You want me to stick to the notes. But I hope you guys have had a good morning. I'm having a great morning. My mom showed up to church today, and so Mama Tice is in the front row. That was a surprise for me, and it's always good to see you. My day didn't start out good. You know, Nate's on the new land crying at 5 in the morning. I wasn't doing that. I wake up at around 5 on Sundays too, and I go running. So this morning I was running. I was the first one on the trail. It's like barely light outside, and I'm just running to have a great time. And I ran directly into the biggest spider web you've ever seen in your life. Like if there were surveillance footage, you just see me like, you know. And I'm pretty sure the spider bit me right on my forehead. And there's a lot of real estate there to work with. And so anyway. But man, it's been good so far after that today. I'm glad you guys are here. If you're a first timer, my name is Joel. I'm the campus pastor here. So we're glad that you're hanging out. And I know we already mentioned this on the top of the service, but we're having a welcome lunch after the next service. And so if like you're nearby and you're like, hey, I want to come to that. Like you can go, you know, grab some coffee or something after this service and then come back. We'd love to have you, even if you don't. Even if you haven't registered, we would love to have you come hang out. But I will be out in the lobby after the service, so stop by and meet me either way. And we just have a gift for you. And we're thankful that you're here. We're thankful for our online family. Can we just give it up for our first timers and onliners? Yep. Hey, I always start out the month, and it's August, people, which is crazy, but I always start out the first Sunday of the month by giving you a Go Above Ground update. And if you don't know what Go Above Ground is, that's what Nate showed a picture of earlier. This is our future building. We're going to get an upgrade one day, people, which I'm excited about. But my update today for you is very simple. We got big news coming soon. Some of you are like, no, give me more. That's all you're getting, all right? But we have some big news coming up soon. I do want to remind you that we're in our matching campaign right now. So for every dollar that you give between now and the end of the year, it's matched up to $100,000 because a generous family in our church has decided to do this matching campaign with us. And you guys have helped us just cross over the $2 million total raised mark for this project, which is just mind-blowing to me. So listen, thank you. So let's dive in today. Now, if you're new with us, I like to do interactive church, all right? So I have 2 surveys I want to do to start today. And I think I already know how this is going to go, but this should be fun, okay? So the first one is this. Raise your hand if you think there are a lot of bad drivers out there. Come on, raise your hand if you think there's a lot of bad drivers out there. Look around. This is the first time our church has ever agreed on anything, all right? All right, so follow-up question. How many of you would say, but you are a good driver? Raise your hand if you would say, listen, but I'm a good driver. Look around. All right, you can put your hands down. What just happened is we're all like, are there bad drivers out there? Yes, everyone is terrible out there. Are we bad drivers? Absolutely not. We're all great. All the bad drivers go to Solid Ground Church. All right, Pastor Bert, all your people are driving crazy. No, I love you, Pastor Bert. But I got bad news for some of you. You're a bad driver and you don't even know it. And I wonder for the couples in the room, have you ever had the fight about who is the better driver in the relationship? Come on, it can't just be the pastor and his wife. Who's ever had the couples fight? Who's the better driver? There it is. Stacy and I, me and my wife, we love each other so much, but we love to fight about who's the better driver, which is insane because I'm clearly the better driver, all right? And so several months ago, I changed our insurance companies for our auto insurance. I was trying to save some money. And this new company we went with, they're like, hey, if you want to save some even more money, we have this driving monitoring program. We'll monitor how you and your wife drives. We'll give you guys individual scores. And if you guys are good drivers, then you can save 18%. Do you want to do that? And I'm like, yes, I want to do that. Absolutely. Like, I want to save some money. And most importantly, I want to figure out scientifically who's the better driver. And so what we had to do is we downloaded this app on our phone, and for 90 days, it monitored everything you did when you're driving, okay? It monitored how fast you were driving. It monitored if you were braking too hard. It monitored if you were watching a funny video on your phone while running over a mailbox. Like, it knew all the things. And so this is on my phone for 90 days. And so two things happened over this 90-day period. Number one, I was worried everywhere I drove. The whole time, okay, I'm like 10 and 2 in it. I'm like looking at the person who's, tailgating me behind me. I'm like, do not brake check them, do not brake check them, do not brake check them. Okay, they're probably a tourist from Pennsylvania with a Salt Life sticker on the back, but don't brake check them. And when I was driving into Dewey, from the Bethany side, and it drops down to 35 miles an hour, which, can we just talk about that for a second? It does not need to drop down to 35 miles an hour, 35 miles outside of Dewey. I know Dewey's a party town. There's people, they don't know where they're at, and they might be walking down the middle of the street, but whoever came up with where it starts at 35 miles per hour, they were partying when they made that decision. But I was slowing down way ahead of time, okay, because there was a lot on the line. Okay, that happened for 30 days. I was worried everywhere I drove. The second thing that happened, and I've never done this in my relationship with my wife, but I was so actively rooting against her for 90 days. When I knew she was driving, I'd be calling her, and I'm like, pick up, because she got dings if she picks up. If I was in the passenger seat, I would be like, hey, babe, there's a deer, hit the brakes. And she'd be like, I'm like, gotcha. It was great, not for our marriage, but it was great for me personally. But after 90 days, we got our results. You want to see our results? Okay, so we'll put this on the screen side by side. Let's just focus on my wife first. The higher the score, the better. We'll just go overall score. Her overall score was 88. That's good. I mean, it's pretty good. All right, her average speeding was 74. All right, yeah, she's training for NASCAR. All right, but here's the thing. Let's just look at your pastor score for a second. Just the overall score. Out of 100, I got 100. Oh, shucks, guys. Don't give me all the attention. I don't want it. No. I now have proof for the rest of my life that I am scientifically way better of a driver than my wife. And I better stop saying this, or I will be sleeping in a hotel room tonight. And that 18% that I saved will go to the hotel room fee. All right. But I tell you that because, like I said, for 90 days, I was worried everywhere I drove. Now, here's my real tie-in with this, okay? That's a fun way to start this out. But isn't it true that sometimes it can feel like worry is riding with us everywhere we go sometimes? Isn't that true? Listen, we're in this money series right now, and so let me just see who's awake, all right? How many of you have ever worried about money? Like, money has ridden around with you. The worry about money has ridden around with you everywhere you go, okay? All right. If you are not raising your hand, the rest of us who were raising our hands, we have a question. Can we borrow some money? Because we are worried about money. Here's what all the stats say, okay? I did a deep dive this week, okay? The number one thing that we worry about is money. All right, the number two thing that couples fight about is money, okay? The number one thing is probably who's the better driver, all right? 70% of people are worried about the economy, which has to do with our money. All right, 69% of people, and this could be you, you're worried about affordable housing. Because if you looked around and you tried to buy a house around here lately, it costs a whole lot of money. Okay. 68% of parents, you're worried about your kids, probably because they can't afford a house. So they're living in your house, spending all your money. All right. 64% of people are worried that in retirement, you are going to run out of money. All right. And 63% of people are worried about their health. And to fix your health is going to cost you a whole lot of money. You got it. Okay. Are you catching the theme here? And so today, all right, just buckle up because I'm calling this message, and we'll put it on the screen. Is worry working for you? Is worry working for you? So turn to the person next to you and say, I already know the answer to the message. Go ahead, tell them. I already know. Now. All right, now, two things about this, okay? Because maybe you're like, listen, Joel, I worry a lot. But I don't worry about money, and so now I'm worried that this message is not for me. Okay, just two things. Number one, never worry about a message about worry. All right, this is an all-terrain worry message, okay? So it'll cover all the things if you're worried about something other than money. But if you are worried about money, let me tell you something, okay? Don't miss this. More money would solve a lot of problems. I'll be the pastor that will tell you that. I have 6 trees in my yard that need to be cut down. I would like some more money to cut down the trees. How many of you know more money solves a lot of problems? Okay. Some of you are like, can I answer that in church correctly? Okay, but yes, it solves a lot of problems. But it does not solve the problem of worry. Because I don't know if you know, but I've met some really stressed out rich people before. Have you? And I've met some people who got like that Bob Marley vibe. You ever meet somebody with a Bob Marley vibe? And they're broke. And so we'll put this on the screen. We don't solve our worry problem by getting more money. We solve our worry problem by getting more trust in God. This is how we solve our worry problem. And I'm pretty sure that's what Jesus was referring to in Luke chapter 12. So if you brought your Bible, head on over to Luke chapter 12. If you do not own a Bible, we say this every Sunday at Bayshore, we give out Bibles every week. We've given out so many Bibles this year, but they're in the lobby by the coffee bar, so you don't need to go out there right now, but after service, grab one. They're free that's our gift to you. But in the meantime, it's always free to look at the screen, people. So Luke 12, this is Jesus, starting in verse 29. He says this is for somebody. And don't be concerned. Don't be concerned about what to eat and what to drink. Don't worry. Everybody say, don't worry. Don't worry about such things. These things dominate the thoughts of unbelievers all over the world. So let's just sum this up. This is Jesus' advice on money. We'll put this on the screen. His advice on on worry is don't. Now, pastor confession. This is what I'm thinking. And I'm thinking you're probably thinking this too. Really, Jesus? Like, can I get a little more than that? Like, don't worry. It's not really how. I need a little more meat on the worry bone. Does anybody need a little more meat on the worry bone? Okay, well, Jesus is like, don't worry. The pastor cut me off, actually. I had more to say. And so let me show you what the next verse says. Okay, we'll start from the top. Jesus said, and don't be worried or don't be concerned about what to eat and what to drink. Don't worry about such things. These things dominate the thoughts of unbelievers all over the world, but your Father already knows your needs. Seek the kingdom of God above all else, and he will, what is he going to give you? He's going to give you everything you need. Come on, somebody should take a picture of this. Somebody should run a lap around the building or something. Like, this is good news. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about your biggest worry in life right now. Just imagine there's like a worry cloud. I need you to fill out your worry cloud. What your biggest worry in life is. It could be a health thing. It could be a relationship thing. Maybe you're a Dallas Cowboys fan. And you're worried how that's going to go this year. Not good, let me just tell you, all right? But think about your biggest worry, and I just want to kind of interpret what Jesus just said for you, okay? Jesus just said that your Heavenly Father already knows what you need for your biggest worry. He already knows where you need to go to college. He already knows what major you need to select in college. He already knows what job you need to take. He already knows for some of you that you are lonely and you're single and you are ready to Christian mingle. I watch the single people in our church sometimes on the worship. You're looking around, you're scanning the room, and I'm thinking what you're doing is you're looking at the hands held up, and you're like, there's a ring on that finger. There's not one on that finger. I know who I'm sitting to next week, all right? Listen, Christian mingle, single people. God knows what you need, and he knows you're lonely. Okay, if you're a parent and you are worried about your crazy teenagers who are acting, interestingly enough, just like you were when you were a teenager, God knows what you need, and he knows what they need. He knows what miracle you need in your life right now. He knows what you need for your biggest worry. My question for you is, do you know you can trust him? Do you know that he is for you? Do you know that he wants you to seek his help above all else? Do you know that he is walking in front of you right now and beside you right now and behind you right now, and he's working for you? Because that's Jesus' message in the worry chapter in the Bible. Amen. And I need to hear that because worry ain't working for me. And it's probably not working for you. So if it's not working for you, I have two main ideas today, and we'll put the first one up here. Worry won't fix a thing, but watching birds will. Now, I know there's some Eagles fans in the room, and you thought I just am like referring to go Birds. This is not a reference to Go Birds. Yeah, see, it's coming out. There they are. All right. So before we talk about birds, I want to talk about my friend Marvin. I think we have a picture of my buddy Marvin. This is years ago. Marvin is a friend of mine, and Marvin, just fun fact about him, this guy's the reason that we are on YouTube Live right now. He's the reason we're on Facebook Live right now, because Marvin spends about half his time in Delaware and half his time in Florida. Speaking of birds, he's a snowbird. Anybody aspiring to be a snowbird one day? Yes, Lord, please send me. But about 10 years ago, Marvin came to me and he was like, listen, people need to be able to experience Bayshore online when they're out of town. And he said, of course, that will be helpful for me. But there's a lot of people who could watch Bayshore, who could listen to Bayshore when they miss Bayshore or they don't live geographically near this place. So he's like, hey, I'm going to buy you all the equipment you need for your church. And you guys, if you want, you can be online. And so the reason we are online right now is because 10 years ago, this guy bought all of our equipment for us to go online. Isn't that cool? Now, let me show you how cool this is. How many of you have ever watched or listened to one of our messages online before? Just raise your hands up. Look around. That's crazy. All right, we're even getting a scream in the back. It's crazy. And so that's a blessing that Marvin has given us. Okay, now, Marvin is a blessing in my life. He's a friend, and so he travels a lot, and he texts me from wherever he is in the world. And so around 4th of July weekend, he was camping somewhere, I don't know where, and he sent me this text message. He said, a hummingbird fell on me. Heat stroke, I guess. I'm bringing him back to life, and now he won't leave. He's been resting here close to half an hour. Happy 4th. So I got this, and I love Marvin. I'm like, bro, what are we talking about? So then Marvin starts sending me all these videos, and 10 minutes worth of videos. I'm going to show you a 30-second clip. This is a 30-second clip that I got from Marvin.
Okay. I'm trying to give you some water. Okay. Heat stroke, that's what you're having. That's a little heat stroke. Yeah. That's what you needed, for some water.
That is the craziest thing. I literally have 10 minutes worth of hummingbird video on my phone. And I'll be honest, when I got it, I'm happy for Marvin, but I'm thinking the only birds that come near me are the stupid seagulls out here that I don't want to come near me, and they're stalking me for my thrashers, and then they want to fly over my head and drop their bird blessings on my head. He's feeding a little cute hummingbird Dasani water, and so anyway, so then he keeps on updating me. So the next day, he sends me this text message. He said, my hummingbird flew away after breakfast this morning. He's been back a half dozen times when I go outside. He's flying really well. I left out the nectar, but he's loving eating bugs. He's hit the nectar once, but the bugs are better. He looked very happy this morning when I came out to give him fresh water and nectar. And then he says, what an amazing creature in God's world. And I'm reading all this, and I'm starting to get teary. I'm getting teary-eyed about this bird. I don't even know this bird. I don't even care about birds most of the time. And so I wrote him, I'm listen, we got to talk about something else. And so the next thing he says, has anyone ever told you look like Kenny Chesney? I'm like, what? I didn't even know who Kenny Chesney was. I looked him up. I'm like, okay, you got a point. I don't know. Quick question. All right, come back to me here. Have you ever seen a bird, an actual bird, actually die of dehydration or starvation? Just on the sidewalk, You ever seen that? No, because they get taken care of. Sometimes it's my friend Marvin who is taking care of them. Listen, I have seen some seagulls in Rehoboth Beach that are eating better than me. I saw one day, I thought it was a Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's just huge, all right? And so maybe you're okay, Pastor Kenny Chesney, don't call me that. But what are we talking about? Birds for, well, chapter 12 in Luke, it's not just the worry chapter in the Bible, it's also the bird chapter in the Bible. And so if you're a bird watcher, you're going to really probably enjoy this. Now, this is in verses 24 and 25. Jesus says this, and you can't make this up. He says, consider the ravens. I feel like Matt over here standing up at the right time with his Ravens shirt on. If you're a Redskins fan, if you're a Commanders fan, or if you're anybody else's fan, you should probably just write those first 3 words down. But why consider ravens? Okay, maybe, don't think about football. Maybe you're a warrior. Why does he say consider the ravens? He says they don't sow or reap. They have no storeroom. They have no barn, yet God feeds them. Okay, sometimes using my friend Marvin to feed them. Okay, God feeds them. And how much more valuable you are than birds. Now, I did a deep dive on birds this week because I'm trying to think, like, why would he say a raven? Why wouldn't he say, a hummingbird? Or, there's a million different birds that Jesus could have chosen. Okay, a pelican, I don't know. So why did he choose a raven? Well, a raven was a dirty bird, which, sounds bad about my team right now. I thought an eagle would be a bit dirty bird, but I'm not writing the book, all right? So a raven is a dirty bird because they eat dead things. And so Jesus picks a raven on purpose because he's telling us, hey, if your heavenly Father is going to take care of a dirty bird, don't worry. He's definitely going to take care of you. And so, listen, if you're in a rough season of your life right now, let me just remind you that God is going to take care of you. Just look at the birds. If he takes care of them, he can take care of you. If you are in a season right now where you don't feel valuable in your life right now, let some birds today remind you that you are so valuable. If you are in a season where you don't feel seen in your marriage or with your boss or with coworkers or your friends, let me just tell you, birds can remind you that you are so seen. And so I don't know what's happening in my life right now, but I guess I should probably say go birds. Not that kind, all right? Here's why birds are so important. Because if God is going to take care of a dirty bird, then he can take care of me. He's going to take care of you. He's going to take care of us. And if God cares about us, here's what that means. It means you're not alone. It means that Jesus isn't going to abandon you. It means that you are not below his help. You're not beneath his healing. You're not beneath his love, and you're not beneath his forgiveness. And when you are standing on the rock that is higher than you, you are standing on solid ground when you are worried. And that's a solid ground reference for my buddy, Pastor Bert, okay? That's a good one, actually. But here's the thing. Worry won't fix a thing. But remember the birds. And remember that God takes care of them, so he's going to take care of whatever is in your little worry cloud. Here's the second thing if you're taking notes, all right? Worry won't fix a thing, but action steps will. So after Jesus brings up this bird thing, okay, he says this, and I think this is so brilliant, all right? So simple and so brilliant. Jesus says this in verse 25. Think about all your worries, can all your worries add a single moment to your life? Is worrying adding to your life or subtracting from your life? Subtracting. Oh my goodness. I have some seasons of my life that emotionally are deep in the red because I was worrying and I was bankrupt when it comes to worry because that's all I could do, and it subtracts from our life. And worry is about as good at fixing things in your life as I would be at fixing a spaceship, people. Like, it doesn't work. Okay, it kind of makes me think of this. I'm worried about my pickleball game lately. Okay, where are the pickleball players at? Any pickleball players in the room? Okay, there was 3 in the last service, 3 in this service. Not a very popular sport. Got it. But I have the yips lately with pickleball. Okay, do you know what the yips are? Cowboys fans, you know. All right, the yips are when you kind of get in your head about something and you can't even perform the basics, okay? And so I have the yips with my serve. And so every time I'm serving, I'm worrying about it and I'm hitting my serve into the net. And so all my neighbors, and I'm not that competitive, but I am a little competitive. And so all my neighbors keep on beating me. And that's really hard for my mental health because all my neighbors are way older than me. Decades older, maybe centuries older, okay? This is not a lie. I was playing with this lady the other day. Her name is Marjorie. She's so sweet. Marjorie is literally 90 years old. I'm not making it up. She was celebrating her 90th birthday a few weeks before I played with her. And I'm yipping the ball into the net. And even Marjorie's like, come on, man. I'll get a new partner. And I'm like, I'm sorry, Marge. I got the yips. But I'm worrying about my serve, and it just keeps on getting worse. Now, my neighbors are not worried about my serve, okay? Here's what my neighbors are worried about. They're all worried that there's going to be people from outside the neighborhood coming in and using our pickleball courts. Illegal pickleballers. And oh, the scuttlebug is big, all right? They are talking and everybody is freaking out. And everybody, the HOA is a big thing, okay? I think the HOA may hire like RoboCop to shoot them with lasers. But here's what's funny about it, all right? The more I have the yips and worry about my serve, the more I'm hitting into the net. And the more my neighbors are worried about illegal pickleballers coming into the neighborhood, the more they're noticing that illegal pickleballers are coming into the neighborhood. And so worry doesn't fix anything in our lives. It doesn't add anything to our lives. It just subtracts from our lives. We'll put this on the screen. Worry never fixes tomorrow, but it always ruins today. It always ruins today. Listen, I don't know about you all, but I ruined way too many days cashing in my joy today for some meaningless worry about tomorrow. And a lot of times that thing that I'm worried about never even happens. And so, listen, the rub here is this. Worry never fixes tomorrow, but it always ruins today. But here's the thing. God cannot fix what we are worried about unless we take some action steps. Like, we can't just sit back and be like, okay, I'm worried about this thing. God, can you just fix this thing? I'm going to sit back and watch some birds. No, we have to take some action if we want to see some action happen in our worries. Like, think about a bird that's going to steal your, Thrasher's French fries. Think about those seagulls out there, okay? Do they have to take some action to get your Thrasher's French fries? Yes, they watch you for hours. They sit on their little places and they watch you and they wait for your clumsy little fingers to drop that French fry, and then they swoop in, they flap their dirty rat bird, wings, and they steal your food. They had to take action to get something. And for us, we can't just look at birds only. We have to take action. We got to flap our dirty bird little wings. And maybe you're worried about money. Here's something. Here's an action step that Christians have been doing for years and years and years, okay? We'll put it on the screen. It's called 10-10-80, all right? So if you're worried about money, this is an action step that Christians have been taking for a long time, okay? Here's how it works. These are my daughter's 10-10-80 jars. I've taught them this when they were, little as that hummingbird, okay? Every time my kids get paid, here's what they know. They're going to give 10% back to God. And so there's a give jar. They're going to give 10% to save for a rainy day. And then they have 80% that they're going to go and spend. Okay, so 10, 10, 80. So my kids, they make $10 in chore money every single week. Now, they think they should get more. They say inflation's bad, Dad. I'm like, I don't know how you learned that word. But when my daughter gets her $10 on Saturday, she puts $1 in give. She puts $1, and the give is the tithing thing that we talked about last week. If you missed last weekend's message, you can go back and get a deep dive on what that all means. Then she puts $1 in save for a rainy day because, things are going to happen. I'm sure Kenny Chesney has a song like, one day your horse is going to be broke down or whatever. I don't listen to country and I don't know what Kenny Chesney, I don't know anything about him, but he probably sings something like that. So that money in the save jar is for that. And then you got 80% to woo. Okay, my boy Nixon, his spend jar, he spends all his money on moon pies right now. It's his biggest thing. He's living the dream. He buys moon pies everywhere he goes. He wants a moon pie. And so he's got $8 a week. That's 8 moon pies a week. We're probably bad parents, but whatever. And so this is an action step that can help fix what you're worried about, because worrying isn't going to fix your money, but there's an action step that you can take to worry or to fix that. Now, I hope you do some version of 10-10-80, and here's why. All right, do you know the average American, all right, you're not average, you're above average, but the average American, every dollar the average American gets, they spend 97 cents. They give nothing, and they save 3 cents. That's the average American. $1, 97 cents is spent, 3 cents is saved, and that's it. So no wonder we're worried. But let me just tell you, you're doing way better than the federal government. For every dollar the federal government brings in, they spend $1.32. Now, some of you are like, oh, now I'm worried about the country. Listen, I'm trying not to make you worry. Forget what I just said, okay? But don't forget this. When we do our part, God does his part. It kind of reminds me of that song that Rob sang last week. There's Rob. Okay, I was looking for you. You're on the wrong side of the room, man. I don't know what I'm doing. But Rob sang "Waymaker" last weekend, and he did a great job. All right, I'm gonna do a bad job, but I'm gonna sing it. All right. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop. You never stop working. You never stop. You never stop working. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. All right, that's it. All right, that's my... Leanne, we need some reverb next service, okay? Just do some whatever. But he's working, even when we see it. He's working. It kind of reminds me of this. So the other day, I was in my neighborhood again. I was playing pickleball, probably with Marjorie. She was probably yelling at me for yipping it into the net. And I saw this thing drive by the pickleball courts. And I'm like, what is that? And so this week, I had my kids go take a picture of it because it's parked in my neighborhood. And so here's what it's this thing right here. And when I saw this thing, I'm like, the HOA finally did it. They hired RoboCop to shoot the illegal pickleballers. That's what this is. So I went to our pool attendant. We have a pool attendant because, listen, if we get illegal pickleballers and illegal swimmers, my whole neighborhood is going to melt down, okay? So they got, all these different checkpoints. And I was like, hey, what is this thing? And she's like, oh, that's our robot mower. She said, once you set it up, it just works all the time. It takes care of your lawn, even when you don't see it. It's working. I'm like... And I'm a professional Christian, okay? And so I've struggled with the sin of envy ever since I found out about this thing. Because I want one of these. I went on Amazon and all the reviews say this. It's like your grass never grows. I'm like, I need that. Because I'm a push mower. Who's a push mower? Who's living the push mower life? Yes. There's tens of us in the entire world. And I hate pushing my grass, okay? But I'm thinking if I can just it just works all the time. Even when I don't see it, it's working. And so I've convinced my wife, Stacy, that when my push mower dies, she says I can get one of these. So I need somebody to help me. All right, today after church, I'm going to push my push mower out on the road. I just need somebody to drive and run over it. Hopefully you don't have one of those insurance monitoring things, okay? But I'm going to do what I can to get this thing. But I tell you that because I don't want to compare God to a robot mower, but I'm going to do it for a second. God, the waymaker, and the robot mower are sort of the same. Because even when you don't see it, they're working. Even when you don't feel it, they're working. They never stop. They never stop working. Aren't you thankful for that? They never stop working. It's probably why Jesus' advice on worry is don't. Don't worry. But do take action. Do look at the birds. And do trust the waymaker. Because I don't know about you, but worry isn't working for me. And worry, all right, one last thing about worry, okay? I've told you a version of this before, but I got some updated stats. I did some research this week, and the stats actually even look better. But to set this up, I want you to think about all of the things that you're worried about. Again, get out your worry cloud. And this time, I don't want you to just put your biggest worry in there. I want you to put all your worries in there. Maybe you're worried about your kids, so you put little Timmy in there. Maybe you're worried about, your hamster. Maybe you're worried about your health. Maybe you're worried about inflation. Maybe you're worried about how much longer this message is going to go. Whatever. Put all that stuff in the worry cloud. How many of you could use a bigger worry cloud? Like you could expand. You could use more. Same. Here's what Penn State University found out in their 2019 study. I've given you past studies which aren't actually as optimistic as this one, but Penn State University found out that of all the things in your worry cloud, 91% of those things will not happen. I thought there might be a cheer or something, okay? There was a woo. That means over 9 out of 10 things that you're worried about, 9 of them aren't going to happen. I mean, that's good. Now, there's always the one person who's like, well, there's 9% that is going to happen. Well, praise the Lord for you, okay? So 9% of what you're worried about from this survey is going to happen. But they found out a third of the things that do happen aren't as bad as you think they're going to be. And then some of yours are like, well, that still leaves the 6%, that's bad. And it does happen. Well, guess what? You have a waymaker who even when you don't see it, he's working. Even when you don't feel it, he's working because he never stops. He never stops working. Some of you should take a picture of this. This is how good our God is. He takes care of some dirty birds like us. And so even when we don't see it, he's working. So let me end with this. We'll kind of go in a different direction here. I want to tell you about somebody who's probably a hero to you. I hope he's a hero to you. He's a hero to me. And his name is Martin Luther King Jr. And one day when I get to heaven, I want to obviously meet Jesus. I want to go find my grandparents. I want to go find my little dog Eli, his tail, hoping it'll be wagging. But after I do those things, I want to meet this guy. Because what a legend, right? I heard a story about Martin Luther King Jr. this week that is a true story. You can go fact check all this, but it's a story you probably haven't heard before. It's not a really famous circulated story. Happened in 1966. Martin Luther King Jr. was in the back of this car in Mississippi. His friend Robert Greene was driving the car, and they needed gas, so they pulled off to this Texaco. And this was back in the day, so it was a full-service gas station. Who remembers full-service gas stations? Yeah, they don't do that at Royal Farms, okay? So they pump your gas for you. So the owner of that Texaco was a guy named James Belk. And so James Belk, he came out to this car. He didn't know who was in the car, but he started pumping the gas. And as he's pumping the gas, he looks in the back seat and he recognizes Martin Luther King Jr. And the moment he recognized Martin Luther King Jr., he stopped pumping the gas. And he went back into the Texaco and he grabbed something, came out, and what he grabbed was a pistol. And he looked at Martin Luther King Jr. and he says, "I know who you are." He called him a racial slur and he pointed the gun in his face and he said, "I'm going to kill you right here." Now, here's what Robert Greene, his friend, Martin Luther King Jr.'s friend who was driving the car, here's what he said happened next. He said he watched Martin Luther King Jr. look at this man. And he didn't look at down the barrel of the gun. He looked past the gun. He looked into this guy's eyeballs. And he said, "Brother, I love you." That's it. And James Belk was so thrown off by Martin Luther King Jr.'s words that he lowered the gun. He finished pumping their gas. He pulled out that gas nozzle, and Robert Greene drove off. Here's what Robert Greene said afterwards. He said, "That was the moment that I realized that Martin Luther King Jr. wasn't afraid of anything. He wasn't afraid to die. He wasn't worried about anything, and he wasn't worried of even dying." How do you get to a place like that? Well, I think the only thing that maybe mattered to Martin Luther King Jr. more than helping our country see past the color of our skin is that he had a strong relationship with God. Before he was a civil rights leader, he was a pastor. And his faith and his trust in God was something that we should admire. And so this is my point of telling you that story. We'll put this on the screen. The most powerful weapon in any battle with worry will always be faith and trust in God. That's your most powerful weapon. Listen, forget about money. This is what makes a person rich. A rich life isn't because you got a big old net worth. A rich life isn't because you got a big old 401k balance. A rich life isn't because you got a big old Lululemon bag filled with Benjamin Franklin's all up in there. A rich life is when you have a relationship with Jesus. And Jesus snuck that into the worry chapter. Watch this. This is what Jesus says in Luke chapter 12, verse 21. "Yes, a person is a fool to store up earthly wealth, but not have a rich relationship with God." So we start out with a poll today. We're going to end with a poll. Here's the poll. If you know that a rich relationship with God is what truly leads to a rich and worry-free life, would you just raise your hand? Amen. There it is. That's it. Jesus says, a person is a fool to store up earthly wealth, but not have a rich relationship with God. So here's the thing. Some of you are here because you haven't started your relationship with God. And we are the church that wants to tell you about this man named Jesus, who even when you don't see it, he's working. Even when you don't feel it, he's working. So much so that he made sure you are in this service today to hear this message so that you could begin a rich relationship with him.